All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down the Thursday night showdown slate that we have between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is a pretty interesting slate in regards to really the point total and point spread. We are getting some pretty good value, so at least we'll be able to, make some pretty logical builds. But this is a slate where, for the first time in quite some time, we're probably looking at a DST. So let's break that down. And so one reason why we might be looking at DST is going to be the game total, guys. 37.5 total points. And then we look at the point spread. The Denver Broncos are going to be favored to win by 13.5 total points. So that basically tells us that Vegas is not expecting the Chiefs to score, and we really know why that is. So one reason why that is because Rice is out for them, but they're also going to be down to their third string quarterback, Chris Oladokun. And again, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. He's someone that can rush the football. I think for DFS purposes, he's not completely like an X on this slate. He is pretty cheap. Does draw a difficult match, but you would expect there to be a decent amount of garbage time for him. Also, though, the Chiefs are going to be without Tyquan Thornton, who some people might not notice this, but he's been someone that really has taken the top off of defenses. So I think the Broncos are really going to be able to keep everything in front of them. And so I think if the Chiefs are going to be successful, they're going to see a lot of short yardage passes. And that's going to be the way that they're going to have to attack. Now, with the injuries that we are getting, we actually are getting a decent amount of values. First and foremost, Juju is extremely too cheap. He had to play in 90% of the snaps. Now, we don't expect him to have that much of a productive day. He's not someone I'm really considering in the flex, but if he's going to be playing 90+% of the snaps once again, I think we certainly have to be looking at him. Now, the player that is going to be the receiver number one is going to be Xavier Worthy, and he's priced really cheap as well. Okay, ended up not having a massive game in a good matchup. 3 targets, 2 receptions, 41 receiving yards, but hey, at least he was on the field 80% of the time, and at least he did get a lot of production, had the most air yards on the team. He is the Chiefs player that if we're paying up, we probably want to pay up for him the most. Although I will say, this seems like a Kelsey slate. Christmas Day slate, kind of want to get him going. Maybe the broadcast crew is really going to be cheering for that as well. But again, given how I think the Broncos are going to choose to defend the Chiefs, everything is just going to be trying to keep them from hitting any sort of deep ball, just check downs all the time, short passes all the time. And so Kelsey is going to be in the mix here as well. And so I think given his price, he's the one I want to get to before Worthy. But Juju's so cheap, we want to begin to him. And then something really interesting here, it is a tough matchup for Pacheco, but he ended up playing his most snaps really of the year and ended up getting 6 receptions and 7 targets. Okay, if that ends up happening again, he's pretty appealing. We're probably just looking at like 10 DFS points, but we do like that. The issue that I have with the Chiefs in general, though, is like that's basically it. Maybe Noah Gray. I don't hate him. He's probably going to play 50% of the snaps, maybe a little bit more in this game, but I don't think we want to be going crazy with them. Now, for Denver, I actually think we are getting some pretty good value as well. So Pat Bryant is going to be out for Denver here, guys. And so with him out, I do think that creates a decent amount of value. Now, you guys know the golden rule with the Denver Broncos with Sean Payton is never trust Sean Payton. That being said, I'm gonna hope that what he did 2 weeks ago with Pat Bryant being out is what he does again this week. 2 weeks ago, Humphrey played 69% of the snaps, had himself a good game, ended up scoring a touchdown. This isn't really a slate where I feel like we need a jam in the studs, but if you wanted to get to Humphrey in the captain spot, I think that could make a lot of logical sense because either he is in that kind of receiver number 2 role or he's not. If he's not, you're just not really getting to him all too much. If he is, he does have the chance to do what he did 2 weeks ago. Now, the simple plays for Denver are Bo Nix. I don't even really need to mention that too much. He's been playing pretty well. I don't want to say he's been playing well. The stats have been pretty good for him, right? There is a difference. I think you guys get that. Like the results have been there. They've been winning games. He could be playing better. I don't need to really talk about that. He's a good DFS play, right? Courtland Sutton as well. If Bo Nix is going to have a good game, it's pretty likely that Courtland Sutton ended up having a pretty good game. He's probably my favorite captain play if I had to choose one. And you're going to be able to get to him. Like, look at this. We have Bo Nix, Travis Kelce, Courtland Sutton. Feel pretty good about that. If we want to get to RJ Harvey, we can do that as well. Troy Franklin's going to be a fine play. Maybe Marvin Mims pops a big one. The Denver Broncos defense is pretty appealing to me, guys. Even in the last game against the Chiefs, they end up with 8 points there as well. And so that's the difficult part for me is like we're almost getting too much value on this slate to the point where it's too easy to make a good build and a logical build. And so like if we're doing this, I think maybe we try to get to Sutton in the captain spot and then we could still get to like the Broncos DST. Like, do we even have to dip down into some of the other values? Probably not. I mean, that is the tough part about this slate. $700 left over here. We could play it safe and maybe go to Bo Nix instead. And then we still have enough money for Courtland Sutton left over. Okay, very logical build, pretty easy build as well. And guys, if we just try to do some lineups here for you guys so you guys can see what the data is telling us are going to be the top builds, we'll do that. And I'm kind of interested to see, because I do really like that hand build, but I think it's going to end up being the same. Again, you probably would want to get to some Denver defenses. It's probably something I should add back into the optimizer. But without the Denver DST, I mean, decent builds. I don't think we necessarily need to get to Evan Ingram. Again, I probably want to get into Humphrey more so. As the value. Juju's going to pop up in there as well. We're going to get to a lot of Juju. Ownership-wise, Will Lutz. I'm okay with that. RJ Harvey, Sutton, Troy Franklin, Kelsey, Pacheco. I think we need to begin to Bo Nix. And so I think we want to just kind of be locking him in there. But it is interesting. We have Kelsey in the captain spot without their quarterback. And we're telling the data we want to stack it with a quarterback. And so some of the top ownership lineups don't have that, whereas some of the top projected lineups are going to have Bo Nix in the captain spot. So kind of interesting there as well. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching and taking time out on your Christmas. Appreciate you guys. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. And as always, let's keep caption. And Merry Christmas to everyone there as well.